When writing a compelling narrative arc, it is necessary that the central character experience some kind of growth by the end of their journey. But how do you implement this kind of transformation into a story so that it's not just easy to write, but easy for the audience to comprehend, without beating them over the head with it? One of the simplest and most underappreciated storytelling tools is the writing technique of giving your character a strong and clear-cut desire, or want, that stands in direct contrast to what they actually need to accomplish that goal. Something they will have to discover and accept by the end of the story, if it isn't to become a tragedy. Many stories do this differently, most commonly by differentiating the want and need so much that the protagonist is required to abandon their original goal in order to accept their new calling. But if you're looking for a traditional and straightforward example of how to tell a positive story arc that implements want versus need in a clear-cut and easy-to-understand manner, look no further than Dan Trachtenberg's 2025 film, Predator Badlands, which follows the story of Dek, a young outcast Yautja, and his heroic journey to the fantastic world of the Death Planet, Genna. From the beginning of the story, Dek's want is made explicitly clear. He seeks acceptance from his clan. And in a culture of warrior hunters, this broad goal equates to one specific thing: by hunting the greatest prey any Yautja ever faced, Dek seeks to prove himself as a hunter, a killer of killers. But for Dek, the unthinkable has happened. His brother, whose only crime was believing in his younger sibling, has just been murdered by their own father. Providing his call to adventure. Dek has his motivation. He is ready to prove himself. Alone on an alien planet, he must prove to his clan, once and for all, that he can kill the strongest. But on Genna, Dek finds an unlikely ally in Thea, a Wayland Yutani synth with an outlook that couldn't be more different than Dek's callous hunter upbringing.
I could help you, but I need a hand.
And in their early exchange, the fatal flaw underlying Dek's want becomes clear.
Yautja might hunt alone, but they die alone too.
This new ally is quick to exploit Dek's desires.
Kalisk. You're hunting the Kalisk.
From his perspective,
How about a lift?
raised in the Yautja's culture of toughness and lethality.
Let's go.
He couldn't have found a worse companion.
Excuse you, sir.
Nevertheless, Dek has found his mentor,
I call these Imbre Anguis.
the angel on his shoulder. She acts as Dek's foil, quick to point out his failings
They just want a snack.
and provide guidance on what he needs to find the success he seeks.
You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Drink light.
But Dek doesn't get it. He still clings to his old beliefs,
We have a higher sensitivity.
his old wants.
The sensitivity is what allows us to understand the creatures on this planet.
Throughout their journey, Dek proves that the way of the Yautja is indeed strong. But a new companion challenges his way of thinking. And to his credit, Dek does try in small ways. But unlearning all he has ever known is not easy.
I think she's marking you. She wants you to be a part of her clan. Maybe she's lost. So you never had anyone looking out for you?
A potential moment of sensitivity.
You're grieving.
But this protagonist is not yet ready to accept his need.
I can survive on my own. But who would want to survive on their own?
Nevertheless, the lesson begins to work its way in. But not fast enough. In each character's journey from their perceived external want towards their actual internal need, the transformation cannot be instantaneous.
We can't leave Bud.
Bud?
Yeah, Bud. I named her.
There must be resistance,
You're not alone. I'm with you.
refusal. Any protagonist who undergoes a transformation of character must move through this period of denial, where, despite the evidence constantly mounting in front of them, they cling steadfast to their old belief system.
On Earth, there's a predator known as the wolf. It's a powerful creature. They hunt in packs. They're very loyal. The leader of the pack is the alpha, known as the most dominant. No, the alpha isn't the wolf who kills the most. The alpha is actually the one who best protects the pack.
The audience, by this point, is clearly able to see the need right in front of the protagonist's face. See them struggle constantly against the obvious, even as they hope that the character will eventually be able to learn the lesson and emerge as the hero they were always meant to be. If it is a hopeful story, the walls are slowly broken down and understanding sinks in, bit by bit. Still in the stage of refusal, Dek brings his flawed mentality to the lair of the Kalisk, where he attempts to claim his trophy by the old methods. alone. The trials of the fantastic world must be structured in such a way that they challenge our hero's notion of how to approach and overcome problems. They confront our hero with the reality of their fatal flaw. In this case, counter to Deck's want. Victory cannot be achieved by killing the strongest. It is here, during his encounter with the shadow dragon of his old belief system, that he sees his flaws and learns the face of the true dragon. In his belly of the beast, while physically restrained and helpless, Deck learns the truth about Thea.
I almost made the same mistake the Ouch's brother made.
Sees himself in her.
The weak must be cold. And Thea, you're broken.
And as a result, he finally learns empathy.
Box her up.
Moreover,
Why are you speaking its language?
he learns to think as part of a pack.
You heard the orders. I'm asking it to explain this device. He says it's a map.
How does it work?
And now, the pack can hunt. On his return to the world he once knew, on his approach to the central truth that will allow his apotheosis, Deck revisits the memories of his brother and discovers that at the heart of his choices was empathy, sensitivity. He realizes the fatal flaw of his want and accepts his need. The lessons have finally taken. Deck has found his clan. His pack. He has become the wolf. The alpha. And the pack hunts. Deck has become who he was always meant to be.
came back for me?
by discovering his empathy.
Wolf. Alles ang den.
Bud?
Nethlinga etlin wung yaun.
Bud's its child?
What's the plan?
Alles au edau. Idok ich takchish.
By working with the dragon of his old belief system, now his ally, Deck can claim not the external trophy he wanted, but the internal one he needed.
Deck of the Oucha.
Yoing I.
And on this particular journey, claim victory the Yautja way by completing his atonement with the Father.
Jonkin jut swajon. Gen hliks. Six ja mistaan kun. Nisi chaiti taichish.
Finally earned that cloak.
Deck of the Oucha.